Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. Tonight I have a very special show. I have the Elks, got members of the Elks here, and we got Jim Schramm and Russ Wales, and you're going to tell me about the local Tahoe Douglas chapter. And tell you right now, I think with this economy, people like yourselves who help people are really are my heroes right now. And you mentioned, I ran into you last week, and you said something about how much money you help children. And is that one of your major charities?
Yeah, we have, well, basically our major charities are youth activities for the kids, our high school scholarships, our veterans work, and our seniors work. Those are the ones we really concentrate on. We have the National Elks organization as a whole has what they call their Elks National Foundation. And Jim here is our local chairman of that, and that gives money back to the states to give back to the communities, and we get a lot of our money from them.
Excellent.
And to fund the various projects we do here in the state, in the Douglas County. We do Douglas County and South Lake Tahoe. So that's our area of responsibility, if you will. Or
so if somebody out there in the viewing audience wants to join, how would they become an elk?
There's you can go to the Elks website, which is elks.org, and there's a phone number there you can call, or you can contact our local lodge, which is here on Kimberlin Avenue. We're open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2, and pick up an application, or you could call locally. It's 265-4523, and there's an answering machine, so if nobody answers, just leave a message, say you're interested, leave a phone number, and we'll get back to you.
Do you have somebody specifically who's in charge of recruitment right now?
Yes, we have a membership chairman, and what we do is we have you fill out an application. In order to become an elk, there are requirements. You have to be an American citizen, you have to be 21 years of age or older, and you have to believe in God. Those are the three things we require. And if you meet those requirements, we'll be happy to sit down and have a chat with you and see what, we want people who are willing to join us and join in our work for the community, not people who just say, well, I'm an elk, and we never see them again.
Well, I was looking at your website, and the official name is the Benevolent and Protective Order. I thought that was very interesting.
Yes.
And we were talking earlier, it was formed by some 15 actors and others in New York City in 1868.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yes.
People that want to go out there, and the mission, which I thought was very good, was to perform patriotic acts and benevolent acts for charity.
Right.
So you can't get any better than that. And one of the things that jumped out from National was they said that by 1970 the Elks scholarships are over $1 million. So your National is pretty powerful people.
Right. And the total that comes back to all the lodges in the United States from the Elks National Foundation this coming year is going to be $26 million.
Wow.
And that covers all the events, or the programs, the hoop shoot, the scholarships, the veterans, all the youth activity programs, and soccer shoot. We have that locally. We participate in all these on a local basis, and work with Parks and Recreation on the hoop shoot and the soccer shoot, and other organizations. So
we talked earlier about the scholarships. If I'm a high school senior and I have a pretty good GPA, should I contact the Elks, or what should I do?
Well, at both the three high schools that we are involved with, which is Douglas High, Whittle, and South Lake Tahoe, they have a scholarship coordinator, and so the seniors can go to that teacher, and she has all the information. She or he has all the information.
So track down those people, because if you've been good all these 4 years, get some money. That's the name of the game, because I heard even Reno is starting to, people are prepaying because tuitions are going up so high. So I think that's a great thing you do. And we were also talking about the headquarters is in Chicago.
Right.
I used to live in Chicago, so I kind of
Oh.
I love Chicago. So it's on Lakeview
Well-
Drive.
That's too bad. You had to live there.
No, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah. I went there in business quite a lot, and it's wicked in the wintertime, that wind.
Well, it's kind of interesting. You know, all the gals have these big giant coats, and they're not competitive at all for what people wear because
Yeah.
just as long as it's warm, it's like parkas in the winter. Well, how long have you all been involved with the Elks, Jim?
Well, I've been a member 20 years now. This year I'll be 20 years, and I've been the president. I've gone through all the chairs. I've been the president, held other jobs, and I think in 17 of those years I've been an officer, and this is the end of my last officership in March, and I'm going to sit in the audience and
I don't know if you'd
raise
be
Cain.
I don't know if you'd be able to do that. Russ, how long have you been a member?
I've been a member
little
for 40 years now.
40 years.
Yeah.
And I
I've
understand
done-
you're going to be the new upcoming president coming
Yes.
April 1st. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not sure if it's congratulations or condolences. We'll know about a year from now how that turns out.
Well, I've been vice president of some of the clubs I've been
Yeah.
in the past, and when you're an officer, you gotta work.
It's gonna very time consuming. I was an officer when Jim was president, and they've been trying to get me to do this ever since. And I kept saying, I won't do it until I'm retired, because the amount of time that one has to put into it, you just can't work full time and do the job justice too.
Well,
So-
also in this community, you've had a pretty high level of standard of your achievements.
Yeah.
So when you're an elk, it means a lot. It means that you got to keep up the mustard, as it were, because ever since I've been around here, the Elks have been a very proud tradition.
Yeah, we've done very well, and fortunately, we have a lot of people who are very dedicated, and it's really been a chore to achieve a lot of the goals, because sometimes they are set a little high, but it's a lot of satisfaction when we get there.
Well, is that one of your goals, is to actually set goals for your upcoming administration?
Oh yes.
You get together with all your whole new cabinet?
Our
as it were?
new board of directors and our officers, and we'll sit down and we're going to set some goals, things we want to achieve over the next year. One of the big ones, of course, is going to be membership, trying to get more people involved in the Elks. So it's a worthwhile organization, and I can't hardly think of anything else I'd rather be doing.
Well, from your two examples, I'm sure this show will help get you some membership. I'm going to join myself, if that's okay.
Well,
Sure.
I don't have a membership application with me, and
See?
bad on me.
With this show, we'll be carrying them on hand.
Yes.
Well, I think developing the goals is a good thing. One thing about this county, though, there's a lot of active groups.
There are.
Do you communicate with other groups so you don't kind of step on each other's for certain occasions? 'Cause
A
I know
little,
there's
somewhat.
been some
somewhat.
scrapping
Yeah.
in the past.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, I try not to interfere with people's stuff, too.
Yeah, and the problem we're running into now with this economy is there's really a limited amount of dollars available, and you have a lot of groups scrambling for those dollars. So we have to show that our programs are better than others, and they should spend their dollars with us, because we'll give it more bang for their buck, if you will, than the other groups do. It's a tough thing to do. It's a hard sell.
Well, it's good communication, though.
Yeah.
And you said something about your coming up to an anniversary, Jim? You said something about
Yes, in November we'll have been 30 years in our lodge here, and we'll have a little celebration of some kind.
Now, you actually have a physical building that you go to
Yes,
and
we do.
and have meetings and whatnot?
Yes, it's on Kimmerling Road in the Ranchos, and we meet the first three Wednesdays a month, first, second, and fourth Wednesdays of each month. But we have activities throughout the month. We have a birthday dinner for once a month for all the birthdays people that month, and we have other dinners. We have breakfast on Sunday, one Sunday a month, and taco night, and just to get people out to the lodge and socialize and get them to come back and work. And,
Well, I
you
agree,
know,
I
so-
agree with you. Just when you get somebody as a member, it's good to get them busy.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that join, but then they can't keep that momentum. They get shy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break in about a minute, but you brought me a disc to put on. Could you tell the audience what we're going to show?
Yes, this disc is produced by our Elks National Foundation. It tells a little about what the Elks National Foundation does and some of the services it provides to the communities. And it's just a small sample of what the Elks do in the local communities.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show the disc and see if there's something that you might want to join the Elks, and we'll be back. Thank you.
Founded in 1928, the Elks National Foundation is the charitable arm of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. They're a national organization with a community focus. Their mission is to help Elks build stronger communities.
The Elks National Foundation helps Elks build stronger communities by providing grants to lodges to help meet unmet needs. We have youth programs such as our Youth Drug Awareness Program and our Hoop Shoot program. We provide care and comfort to homeless and hospitalized veterans. We also provide scholarships to high school seniors that are going on to college.
The Elks have a long tradition of serving their communities. Nearly a century of generous donations have been invested to form a permanent endowment fund that enables the Elks to give back $3.06 for every dollar they raise.
Since 1928, the Elks National Foundation has given back more than $362 million to Elks communities to help with their charitable activities.
With nearly 850,000 members in more than 2,000 communities, Elks Lodges help communities all across the nation.
They run mentoring programs for troubled teens.
We visit the veterans and those that are not in wheelchairs, are not able to walk. We go to visit their rooms.
Some lodges hold soup kitchens every day.
Have a Christmas charity program where they fill baskets for needy people.
You name it and we do it.
Lodges use Elks National Foundation grants to address local needs. The St. George Dixie Elks Lodge in St. George, Utah is using an ENF grant to make a difference at the local alternative high school, Mill Creek.
These are kids who have not succeeded in a traditional school setting.
Some of us had hardships in life and we needed that extra help that we can get here.
Because at home I don't have that much support as here.
Fortunately, they have the Elks of St. George to lend a hand. With funding from an Elks National Foundation Impact Grant, the Lodge runs its Pantry Partners for Success project at the school.
It started with helping students that were hungry. A student doesn't learn. They don't care about nouns and verbs if they're hungry. And if it takes a can of soup or a bowl of cereal, then that's what we're going to give them.
We can, right at the end of school, take food that we need to the house and eat, and they provide it every day.
But the needs kept growing, so the Elks evolved with them.
They've helped provide a lot of like baby stuff, wipes, diapers, blankets, burp cloths, clothes.
They've held my baby too. They give him clothes, toys, whatever he needs.
The program has grown and evolved because of the networking with the community.
Once they learned what the need was and what was going on here, many groups wanted to get involved, and that led to them giving financial help. The time we total up all the donations and all the money that we've spent with the $30,000 from ENF, it's come to over $800,000.
The results are even more spectacular.
Over 2 years, the graduation rate has gone from 48% to over 70%.
The students are grateful for the support and show it with thank you notes, posters, and well wishes.
The Elks, they're really positive. They want to do everything they can to help, and they've done a lot for me.
So the reason I became an Elk is because of the hearts that I saw Elks had towards kids that I work with in this building.
It's inspiring to see so many volunteers, really reach out to those in need in their community.
When I was poor and teaching high school and had 2 children on my own, I went home one day and there was a basket of food. And it's 40 years later, and that basket of food still makes a difference in my life because I still think about it, and it's my turn to give back.
Give back to your community. Join the Elks. Support our work. Visit elks.org/.
Hi, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that video, and we're just talking about my future with the Elks, and Jim's going to tell me more about some of the things that you do. You said something about you communicate to national of events, and they might send you money to help the event get kicked off?
Right, and we're, in addition to scholarship things, that we submit our local scholarships through the state organization, and if they are good enough, they get sent back to the national, which is the Elks National Foundation supervises those, and we have several students that have won those, and they're bigger amounts than what we do locally.
Oh, well, you mentioned
for 4 years,
yeah,
you know.
You mentioned something about somebody's at Notre Dame or something?
Yes,
wow.
We have a lady at Notre Dame now.
Wow.
And I think she's in her third year.
Yeah.
And she has a sister that followed her, and she ended up at Duke University.
Wow.
And I think there's another sister that's coming up now, so she'll probably end up. And this year we have 3 scholarships, or 3 that are vying for those scholarships already in progress.
So
back
that family
there.
is probably a big fan of the Elks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in next month, April, I guess, we'll start looking at scholarship applications from the local high schools and do that. We also, one of the big grants that we got from the foundation was for the women's shelter up at South Lake Tahoe.
And I was mentioning
battered women's shelter.
That is a real biggie. There's so many problems up there you wouldn't even believe. That shelter keeps a lot of people alive.
Oh, yes.
It's a big deal. I help people out with food, and one of the people I help is in hiding in this area just because she's trying to get away from an abusive husband. And there's some good programs there where you can donate your computer and your furniture, and they're
Yes.
trying to get the people, the women self-sufficient. And a lot of times they end up on the street with a kid too.
Right.
And so anything you do to help that shelter is
Right.
a big deal, because they also get counseling, because that's it's a very good place. So
Right.
I'm proud of you for being involved. with that
Our
one.
main involvement is basically with food and chits for meals, you know, to take the family out to dinner, and we provide a food pantry up there too. And then there's a group of the Elks up there that get together and twice a month make sandwiches for the children to take to school with them.
Awesome.
A brown bag, you know.
Yeah, well, that's a big deal. It's
yeah.
hard to support having your kids
Right.
have lunch every
Yeah,
day.
and they really like that. And of course, we've had one for the veterans here locally, and we put on this last year. We invited the local VFW chapter, the veterans from the assisted living home that's near our lodge, and also all the veterans from the lodge that are members, and had a nice dinner. And
I didn't know you had an assisted living building for veterans out there. That's awesome.
well, it isn't there. This is for general people, but
No, but it's good.
they had 20 veterans there, and we had it was interesting because we've had 2 years now. This little old lady comes in her wheelchair, and if you could believe this, she was a Marine in the Second World War.
If you met my sister, you would have a hard time believing.
But she is such a good person, and I sat at the table with a group of them and just chatted before the last dinner we had, and it was really interesting I'm a veteran myself, and so it was interesting to talk to them about where they served and what they did and all of that. And one of the things that people probably don't know is that the Elks actually, after World War I, established a hospital in Boston, which was the first hospital of the current Veterans Hospital Association.
Did not know that.
By the federal government, and then they donated that hospital to the federal government. So that started it for the veterans nationwide.
And you said what you help out the veterans in the hospital here in Reno,
yes,
too.
we make visits probably every other month, and particularly when there's a Veterans Day or Valentine's Day, a group went up, and the kids from C.C. Manili Grammar School in the Ranchos.
They're busy.
They made Valentines for all the veterans, and they just get the greatest joy out of that. It's amazing, you know, and to go in, and most of these people don't have relatives in the area, and their only contact with the outside is when we visit them.
Well, that's great.
And the other lodges in the north do that too. They go in different times and visit them, and we take books and magazines and clothing so that they can have extra things.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you should get him back on the board. He's got his sold already.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking at break about that. Something about your chapter's #1 in Nevada for something, or?
Yeah, in the Elks National Foundation donations.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And eight out of the last 9 years, we've been the largest per capita contributor to the Elks National Foundations.
Well, that's awesome.
Of all the lodges.
And how many lodges are there in Nevada?
About 2,000.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, how many members do you currently have right now?
We're at 287 members in this lodge.
Yeah.
And how many is your goal to get for this upcoming?
Next year, I want to get it up over 300. So
that's a lot of people to keep busy.
We're going to have to make some dictums, I think, and one of them is that no members are going to be allowed to die during the next year.
Yes.
I tried that with the JCs, but it didn't work.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of our members are seniors, and so while we took in 30 new members last year, or this current year, unfortunately we had some people pass away on us, so our numbers fell again. We didn't get as many new members as we would have liked as far as increasing the membership.
If you're going to go with your boots on.
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested in joining, got a contact number of 265-4523, and
Yes.
I guess your secretary's there on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Correct.
Is
and
she all there all day?
She's there from 10 to 2.
Okay, 10 to 2.
And then, as I say, there's an answering machine. Leave your number, and we'll get back to you by all means. Happy to.
And then when I checked out the Elks before I came here today, and you just go to elks.org, and you can find out more about the whole big picture.
The whole big picture.
And but you have a lot of chapters, and I'm real proud of you. It's very competitive, and you just seem to be holding your own.
We definitely try.
Well, for this upcoming period, are you going to create any new programs, or are you just going to try to make the other ones stronger?
We're going to try and bolster the programs we have. That's for sure. It's difficult to create a new program now, again with this economy, because for every new program we create, we have to create a way to raise money for it.
Exactly.
And so that makes it very difficult. But we definitely want to increase what we're already doing for the community, so rather than try and expand into something new.
Well, as an established chapter, do you have a good relationship with National to keep on helping you with these programs?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because you mentioned that some of the things we talked about was, besides the Women's Center, you give out dictionaries to third graders.
Right. Every third grader in Douglas County at the beginning of the school year, we'll get a dictionary from the Elks.
And
South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that. We merged recently with South Lake Tahoe's Lodge, so that's,
Well, that's
how
great,
we
'cause
expanded
that's-
up into the South Lake Tahoe area.
Well, we're
So-
down about a minute and a half. Can
Yeah.
you kind of give out a kind of a closing statement what the Elks means to you? Or
Well, I would like to mention that the monies, this Elks National Foundation we've been talking about, we donate money to it, as Jim said, on a per capita basis. We're #1 in the country, the state of Nevada is. But all the money that goes into the Elks National Foundation, the money that comes back is only the interest on that. The principal is never touched. So every year, the more and more principal or interest builds, and more then gets given back to the states and then to the local lodges. So it's a very well-run, well-funded program, and it's definitely a solvent program. There's no problem with us coming up short on money with that program. So,
well, that sounds pretty good. Well, thank you for being on Nevada Trails, Jim.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, it's time for everyone to get involved with your local clubs and things. And if you want to be an elk, just check them out. They have a lot of, these two are good, fine examples of how they help the community. And we really do appreciate it. And thank you very much.